Hello, and welcome to this other edition of our 30 days marathon journey into discussing 30 important questions singles must ask while dating or courting. 30 important questions while singles or which singles must ask while dating or courting. Thank you so much, and welcome to day number 4. We wait in music, listening to Confidence by Mercy Chinwo. Mercy Chinwo is one singing for us this morning, and we are listening to the song Confidence. And I would like you to wait in music as we get into a presentation in just a moment. Thank you so much for joining this live broadcast. Please do me a big favor to tag your friends and let them know that I'm on this morning. I want to check to know if I'm public or just my friends are able to watch this. I'm not too sure. Anyway, whichever way, I'm going to set it for public view when I'm done with the video. I'm sorry for moving the phone around and around. Thank you so much. I'm grateful that you are on this morning, and we have a very brief broadcast, a brief presentation this morning, and I'm on discussing the 30 important questions singles must ask while dating or courting. So please just stay on with me. We are just jumping into it in just a moment, and we will not be long. Thank you for being part of this broadcast. I really appreciate you. I really do. And I hope these discussions are blessing you, and I hope they are really opening up your mind to understand certain things as singles, and you would make good use of them. So right away, I want us to get into question number 4. Question number 4, you want to ask someone you are dating or courting would be to ask them if they are open to the idea of marriage and starting a family. If you are dating someone, you are moving with someone, you're close to someone, and you have a friendship that is going on for some time, and you really enjoy their company, you need to ask question number 4. You need to ask them to know if they are open to the idea of marriage and starting a family. You know, many people assume wrongly so, that when people are close to you and they are of the opposite sex, what they are thinking is relationship. And what they are thinking is a romantic relationship, or what they may be thinking is marriage. Thank you so much, Sister Brenda, for connecting. God bless you. And this erroneous assumption, thinking that if someone is close to you, they are close to you because they have something romantic with you, and they are thinking to settle down with you or to plan the future with you in a marital relationship, has led to the frustration of many. So one important reason why it's important, or one reason why it's important for you to ask someone you're dating if they are open to the idea of marriage or starting a family is, number one, you have to avoid assumptions. Avoid assumptions. Because just because somebody is close to you, somebody likes your company, it could be a colleague at the workplace, and that colleague likes to go on lunch with you, excuse me. Let me take a sip of water. Thank you. Just the fact that that person likes going to on lunch with you doesn't necessarily mean that that person is thinking about something with you. You could even be a member of a church, and there is this brother who likes going on evangelism with you, or you could be a part of the prayer team, and there's this sister who likes, having you in prayer and always like to, always like to pray with you. Don't just assume that they are thinking marriage or thinking family. Don't assume it. Ask them the question. And sometimes you need to be very, forward the way you handle things. And even sometimes when people keep presenting certain gifts or presenting gifts to you, showing you uncommon attention, and it is wise enough to ask them why they do the things they do. So you should be sure that what they are thinking is what you are thinking. You don't just assume because they give you a gift on your birthdays, or they give you a gift every month, or they like hanging out with you, they like going on evangelism with you, they like going to prayer band or prayer team with you, or they like doing some spiritual exercise with you, they like singing with you in the choir, or they like going with you to honor invitations whenever they are invited to sing or minister in a particular place. You don't just assume that they are thinking marriage, they are thinking settling down with you. You need to ask them, what is in their mind? What are they thinking? Are they open to the idea of marriage and starting a family? This is to avoid, that's the second point, this is to avoid disappointment. Is to avoid disappointment. There was a case of a lady who was in the team of a certain man of God, and this man of God is an international minister, and he goes from place to place preaching the gospel, and always like to have this sister in his team because the sister was a good singer and would assist, the man of God in their meetings and help him, to be able to easily flow in those atmospheres where they go. And at the back of the mind of the sister, she was thinking that this man was thinking to settle down with her. And the big error she made is she started going around, talking about it and trying to warn other ladies in church, creating an atmosphere that people began to think that this man of God has even proposed to her about marrying her. And that was not the case until she was just shocked. Of course, not her in a way. The church was just shocked to realize that the man of God decided to get married to a different lady and completely from a different nationality. And it raised a lot of problem. There was murmuring around, there was talking around in church, and people were, thinking that the man of God disappointed this lady. She had promised to marry her earlier for this other lady that she's married to, or he's married to right now. But the man of God was innocent. This lady was simply assuming that because he takes me around, because, we minister together, then it could be that he is thinking of settling down with me. And this lady became frustrated. She became embittered. It came to a point where the man of God in question had to address the issue publicly in his church to be able to make people understand that he had never at any one point proposed to marry this lady. Don't just assume that he is thinking of marriage. Don't just assume that he is thinking of settling down with you. Ask the right questions. Ask him, ask her, what is your idea? Are you open to the idea of marriage or settling down tomorrow to make a family? And the next thing, why it's important to ask this question, is to be able to plan for the future. If you should not be planning a future that doesn't exist. You are planning and dreaming and hoping that your future is going to be with this person when that person is planning and dreaming a future with a completely different person. You need to know if they are open to the idea of marriage and starting a family. This is going to help you plan for the future. It helps you to see if you are walking in towards the same direction. It helps you to think about the timelines. You think about the when, the how of the marriage. When is this marriage going to happen? In your mind, what are you thinking about? Which year are you thinking to settle down? This helps you to assess if there is somebody you are going to wait on, or you have to move on because their timing may not be your timing. You cannot be planning to settle down in 2024 and then you are dating someone who is thinking of settling down in 2030 or 2027. If you don't talk things out to be able to understand their idea, what are they planning to settle down? When are they planning to settle down? What are their expectations in the relationship? What are their expectations in the marriage? What are they thinking about? What are the potential challenges that you could envisage in this relationship? This proactive approach to future planning fosters a sense of shared responsibility. If we are actually thinking of marriage, when is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? You know, what are those responsibilities each of us has to shoulder so that this thing should become a success? That's a second reason why it's important for me to ask that person why or whether they are considering marriage or starting a family. The third reason is emotional preparedness. Emotional preparedness. Somebody can be of age, but is not emotionally prepared. It's not because somebody is 25, 30, 35, that person is ready for marriage. No. You could be 40 in age, but you are 18 in your mind. You could be 40 in age, but you are 22 in your mind. And you think like a 15-year-old child because you are not emotionally prepared. Marriage needs a lot of emotional maturity. It needs a lot of emotional stability. It needs a lot of emotional investment. Are you ready for marriage? Emotionally, are you ready to handle the things that come with marriage? If you get into marriage when you are not emotionally prepared, you will be drained in the first few years of marriage. That is why the first 5 years of marriage is always very challenging, because there are a lot of emotional adaptations, there are a lot of learning, emotional learning. And if you were not emotionally prepared before getting into marriage, or your other part is not emotionally prepared, you get into marriage, maybe you are prepared emotionally, financially, psychologically, but the other person is not prepared. So you will be drained because you'll be trying all alone to make it work. You'll be trying all alone to shoulder the responsibilities of the marriage succeeding, and the other person will just be at the receiving end. And you don't want to find yourself in that kind of relationship where somebody is not emotionally prepared. You know, they still want to live their life. They still want to have their way. They just want to enjoy their youthfulness, and they are not ready to take serious responsibilities as far as marriage is concerned. Just the fact that some people are marrying around you doesn't mean that you are ready to marry. Just because, you know, your friends are marrying doesn't mean you should marry. Just because your classmates, your schoolmates are marrying doesn't mean you should marry. Are you emotionally prepared? It helps you to access your emotional preparedness. And then the emotional preparedness of your other person, of your partner. Are they prepared for this thing? Are they ready to make it work? You see, people keep getting in and out of relationship. Today, they are dating this person, or they even propose to that person, and they start a relationship. Before you know it, they end that relationship and they're beginning another relationship. That is a mark of the fact that they are emotionally not prepared. There's something lacking somewhere that they have not worked on. They are not prepared to start a relationship. And if someone is not ready to start a relationship, let them be. Walk to the next person who is ready to start a relationship. This is what I always tell people. Don't spend your time beating a dead horse. When a horse is dead, let it lie. Move on with people who are moving. Move on with people who are ready. It doesn't matter how much you love that person. If they are not prepared emotionally for any relationship, if you will force things to go your way, the moment you get into that relationship, you are going to suffer. Because you'll be trying to do everything, draining yourself to make it work, and it may never work. The fourth reason why it's important to ask the person you are dating or courting if they are ready, or their idea for, if they're open for marriage or planning a future, is to avoid misunderstandings. This is tied to assumptions. We understand this. The first reason advanced is to avoid assumptions. To also avoid misunderstanding, because lack of clarity on important issues can lead to misunderstanding and confusion later in the relationship. So having an open conversation about marriage and starting a family. What is their own idea about marriage? What do they think? Like the other day we had a discussion. What do they think is the role of religion or spirituality in their marriage? You may even go ahead to think, what is more important to them? Children or happiness? What is more important to them? Making money as a family? What is more important? Some people marry just to have children. So you need to know their ideas about marriage. Some people marry just, to because they are old enough to marry. What is in their mind about marriage? Don't just assume that what you're thinking is what they are thinking. To avoid misunderstanding later on in the future, get into open conversation about these things so that you'll be able to understand what is the idea, even the role. What do they understand by gender role playing in marriage? Who is a husband? Who is a wife? What is the idea of a husband? What is the idea of a wife? What is the idea of a successful marriage? What is the idea of a failed marriage? What is the idea of a happy marriage? You need to get into these discussions when you consider any relationship that you want to push it to any level. Are they open for marriage? Are they open to start a family? Having this discussion will help you, because you're going to have their own idea about what they are thinking about marriage when they are thinking to settle down. It will help you to avoid assumptions. It will help you to equally avoid misunderstandings. It will help to plan together for a future. If you don't know what you are moving into, you will not know how you're going to plan. It will also help you to assess if you're emotionally prepared, or if they themselves are emotionally prepared. Are they able to handle certain things? Are they able to handle conflicts? Are they able to handle misunderstandings? When they are angry, how do they do? Or what do they do? How do they behave? It helps you to assess those things. And one other thing you want to do is it helps you to respect individual choices. When you ask them that question, they could tell you no. And if they tell you they are not open to marriage, and they are not open to starting a family, what does that tell you? You accept their choice. You accept their decision, and you move on. and you know that this is how far this relationship is. This relationship, though we do a lot of things together, marriage is not one of those things that we are considering in this relationship. Though we go on evangelism together, marriage is not one thing we have on our table. Though we pray together, marriage is not one thing we have on our table. Though we do business and we are business compatible, marriage is not one thing that we have on our table. Though we belong to the same fellowship, we belong to the same church, we come from the same tribe, we attended the same school, marriage is not one thing on this in this relationship. Though we work in the same place, we go along so well professionally, we even go to lunch together, marriage is not one thing we are considering. That helps you to know the limits to which this relationship goes, how far it goes, and that will help you to know how much emotions you are investing into that relationship. How much emotions you're investing. Because one bad thing to happen to you in life is to invest your emotions in the wrong place, to invest your emotions in the wrong person. And you will only end up having a heartbreak, having a situation where you think that that person deceived you. Meanwhile, the person never openly told you they wanted to marry you, or they were thinking of settling down with you. The fact that they had a good conversation with you, you had a good communication going on, you had good calls and texts back and forth, you would not go a day without checking on each other, never meant that they were thinking of settling down with you. This is one thing you have to know. There are some friends who are close to you. You do a lot of things together of the opposite sex, but they never think anything romantic with you. They never think anything romantic with you. I have some friends like that, some female friends like that. We have a lot of things we have done together. We have known some of them for over 20 years. We still relate till tomorrow. We do a lot of things together. But while we were relating, even when I was single, it never one day came into my mind that I could settle down with them. Now, some of them got disappointed at some point when they voiced their feelings to me, their ideas of marriage to me. I said, no, unfortunately, though you may be thinking that I appreciate you as a person, I appreciate you, we share a lot in common, but when it comes to the area of marriage, I have not thought about it, I am not even thinking about it, and I don't think I'm going to think about it. Some of them got disappointed because I said that. That doesn't mean I don't love them. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate them as a person. That doesn't mean that I don't like their company. It means I love them so much, I appreciate them so much to the limit that I don't think about settling down with them as a spouse. That doesn't make them less beautiful. That doesn't make them less intelligent. That doesn't make them less, cherished. But that when it comes to romantic issues, that is not an idea. I never thought about that. I told you I have many of them like that. And some of them got disappointed when they voiced out their feelings about me, how they thought about me. And I told them I'm sorry. And I really appreciate you loving me. I really appreciate you thinking of settling down with me. But my mind is elsewhere. You better voice it out. And if they never voiced it out at some point, they would be waiting on me. And they may have to wait for eternity because I was not thinking towards their direction. And there is one particular one that she never told me anything. I never told her anything. I never thought anything. She's married. I am married. And we are still great friends. We discuss a lot of things together. We help each other in our relationships, in our marriages. When I have issues, she helps me. When she has issues in her marriage, I help her. We are still great friends. But we never thought, in my own mind, I had never thought of settling down with her at any point in my life. But she's so a matured lady. She's so well behaved. She's so spiritual. She's a great person. But when it comes to marriage, it has to go beyond that. So if we never had communication with some of these people, they might be waiting and waiting for too long. So don't just assume. Don't just be wasting your time. I call it wasting time. Thinking that somebody is thinking what you're not thinking. Have a conversation. Ask them the right question. What are you thinking about? Are you open to marriage? This gift you have been giving me, why are you giving me this gift? This attention you have been showing me, why are you giving me this attention? Let me be clear. Let it be that the thing I'm thinking is what you are thinking. And if we are not thinking the same thing, that's all right. We can continue having this good friendship, but I know that it can only go so far. It doesn't involve any romantic feelings. It doesn't involve marriage. So you don't have to get into any disappointment at any point in your life. Please join us. Don't fail to join us in our February and March batch or cohort training for singles. We have decided to start training singles. We don't have any place where we learn marriage, where we learn relationship. In seminars, we will learn. But when you attend a training program where you go through practicums, you do discussions, and you go through that training program for a length of time, it helps you to learn more than just attending seminars. Of course, I will be organizing some seminars when that time will come. But I want to invite you, if you are single, join us in the February-March cohort on a single training program organized by Hope Singles and Marriage Academy. I'm going to attach a link to this video that will help you to register for this training that is coming in February and March. Yes, Sister Brenda, you're asking about the training for marriage people. I want us to gather some people. When we are ready, we organize something for them. Christabel, God bless you. Yes, so we are going to organize something for marriage people. Can you help me organize a team of married people who are interested to have serious discussions about marriage life? Young couples like you, even people who have been there for quite some time. Can you get a number of them? Then we can get together and we organize a training. When I put up, the link to my website here, go to the website, look for the couple training program, scroll through, you're going to have see the curriculum we have for the first batch there. And if that's something you want to consider, please be my voice, be my, marketing manager where you are. Try to get some people. If you can organize some people, we can start the training just like tomorrow. And it's going to be a great moment together. Thank you so much. Yes, Christabel, I remember you. You were a great student. I still remember. I taught you chemistry. You were a great student. God bless you for being the great person you are. I hope you are still great. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Shalom.